what is the relationship between out-of-body experiences, lucid dreams, and dreams themselves? A lot of people don't really see the connection, and they put them in a box, don't they? Everybody's classifying everything. This is a lucid dream, this is a dream, this is an OBE. And it's like we have a tendency in our society to put everything and label it and put it in a box. And that's not the way it is at all. To give you an example, what I like to do is share in one of my experiences that I had that I think will clarify the connection between these are states of consciousness. And they're all in themselves profound states of consciousness. We take them for granted because for a third of our life we spend asleep, and a portion of that we're dreaming. And we take them, this is a normal event. We don't understand or really think about the profound impacts it could be having upon us or the potential of it. And that's what I like to focus on. To do this, I like to share an experience I had. I've owned many houses over the years. We've moved a lot. And one of the houses my wife and I moved to a house in Maryland. Our sons were in high school at the time. And we purchased a house with a pool in the back. And my sons actually talked me into the house with a pool. Dad, you're going to buy the pool. So we moved into the house with a pool. And of course, as we all hear about, our children are going to take care of the pool. Right, they're going to take care of the puppy too. We all know better. But in this case, after we were in the house for a while, and all summer long, I quickly learned that I was the one in charge of cleaning the pool. So every morning I would get up, and I had all summer long, I had this sequence of events I would do. I would make my coffee first thing, and then I would take my coffee cup and I'd walk around the pool. This was an in-ground pool, and it had skimmers built into the concrete. I believe there was 4 of them. And skimmers, they were about that diameter, and it would automatically filter the water to some extent. But there was a problem, is that where I lived, there was a lot of small frogs, and they would get trapped in the skimmer, and they would drown. They couldn't get out. They would also get in the pool itself, but they would inevitably get stuck in the skimmers. And every morning, I'd go around the pool with my coffee cup and grab the little frogs out of the skimmer and throw them over my fence to my neighbor's house who didn't have a pool, just trying to keep them away from me. And they're just cute little frogs about that big. And this was like a regular event. Every skimmer would have at least, it seemed like, 1 frog. And all summer long I'm doing this, grabbing the frogs, throwing them over the fence. So lo and behold, what happens in a dream? We typically dream about stuff that occurs during the day, don't we? Mm-hmm. This is normal. And in my dream, here I am, walking around my pool with my coffee cup and doing the exact same thing that I do every morning all summer long. So here I am, I'm in a dream, and I mean a dream. I'm unconscious. I know I'm dreaming, but I'm not lucid, I'm not aware. It's an unconscious dream as such. But I vividly remember walking around and grabbing the little frog, and I'm about to toss the frog in the dream over the fence, except this time, the little frog starts to talk to me. And it starts saying some very bad 4-letter words to me, like, F you, Bill, stuff like that to get my attention. And I'm staring, remember, I'm in a dream. I'm staring at the frog going, what the hell? Frogs don't talk. Frogs don't talk. Remember, this is a dream. It's like, I'm dense. But after a while, I was so fixated, and the frog kept on saying stuff to me, all of it quite nasty, and I became more and more lucid or aware because I started to question the experience. And that's the big thing here. I began to question the dream. which means that this was an anomaly that made me question the reality of this situation. A talking frog is not normal, and it caught my attention enough to get, so my awareness increased, or what today we call lucidity. I became more aware in the experience, and I'm staring at the frog, and at some point, I questioned to myself, this must be a dream. Frogs don't talk. This must be a dream. And at that point, in this experience, I had a transition of consciousness. And the next thing I know, I'm laying on my bed, on my back, in my normal bed, in vibration state. Half in, half out of my body. That's exactly, I remember exactly where I was. When I was dreaming, I was already phasing half in and half out of my body in a mild vibrational state. In other words, I was in a perfect state. I know that that's a perfect state to have an OBE. So at that moment, of course, the transition was very abrupt, and this is where it takes, you have to stay incredibly calm, because that transition from the dream to laying in the bed like that, and it's a shock. And suddenly I go from a dream to what I perceive to be reality. But I stayed calm, mostly because I've had a lot of experience. And I just stayed calm, and at that moment, I lifted out of my body, door now. I did my normal exit protocol. Door now, lifted out, floated or stepped to the door, went through the door, and then went on to have what I consider to be a productive out-of-body experience. But what's important here is the transition of consciousness that just occurred. What just happened was, I just went through 3 stages of consciousness, from a dream and a low-level awareness dream, which are typical of the dreams we mostly have, to a lucid dream where I began to question the dream and began to ask the important questions like, am I dreaming? Which shifted me into this other state, which was, I recognized it immediately as being a precursor to an OBE, or a potential OBE if I responded correctly. So there's 3 definite states of consciousness I shifted to. Very important. And this is why this is important. Dreams can be used as a launch pad for having more profound experiences. Dreams and lucid dreams can be used if you follow the correct protocol, which is bring more awareness. The key is to, it's always about awareness. I keep on saying this, but it's so true. In every experience you have, it's always about bringing the most awareness you can to your experiences. I don't know what, it doesn't matter what it is. Dreams, lucid dreams, OBEs, daily life. That's how you get the most out of it. Being fully aware, fully engaged, fully conscious. And that transition can be used. It can be used, as I call it in my first book, Adventures Beyond the Body. I use the term upgrade, or enhancing your dream state. And that's what I'm referring to. We have the natural capability of using our dreams as a launch pad of consciousness. And there's an advantage to that. Number one, we spend 1/3 of our life asleep. Every typical person will go into REM 5 times a night. So there is at least 5 dreaming sessions that the average person is having. Some of these get, as we prolong through the night, the dreaming periods become longer and more pronounced. In other words, we spend a tremendous amount of our life in these states that are potentially launch pads of exploration. But very few people know this. They just look at, oh, most people today are now focused on taking the dream and making it into a lucid dream, and that's where it all stops. They think, many people believe that's the end goal. That's the totality of what you can achieve. And I'm not in any way dismissing the potential of lucid dreaming, just to be very clear. Lucid dreaming is a powerful way to explore consciousness and your subconscious. There's no doubt about that. So I want to be clear with this, and I agree completely. I'm a lucid dreamer. I have a lot of lucid dreams. I enjoy lucid dreaming, but I'm also aware that there's another potential there that's been untapped for centuries, and still today is not discussed, and that is the capability of taking that lucidity that people are working on today. Millions of people are exploring lucid dreams today, way more people than explore OBEs.
What's the definition of a lucid dream, though?
Becoming conscious in your awareness.
Oh, okay, that's what I wasn't getting.
Yeah, it's lucidity means consciousness or awareness, being aware of your dream. And the more awareness you have, the more lucid it is, and the more you get out of it. And instead of just focusing on the dream characters, which is the scenario that's often used today in all the dreaming books and the dreaming classes, which are quite prevalent today. I've been to quite a few conferences and spoke at dreaming conferences. And the audiences are large. There's a lot of interest in this topic. What's missed is this third element of exploration that few people seem to embrace, and that is that capability of taking that lucidity and turning it into something even more profound. And that is a fully conscious, fully aware, out-of-body experience where you're in total control, where you can begin to explore your multidimensional self and obtain the answers for yourself. This is the real, the hidden, often, potential of it that is yet to be tapped in modern literature. And the potential is great because this is a natural process. We're all going to have dreams. We're all going to, at some point, probably have a lucid dream. So think about it next time. So what's the steps here? Look for things that don't belong in the dream. This is how I look at it. It's like a higher part of yourself is knocking on the door here, going, wake up, Bill. There's something there that doesn't belong. For instance, I've had dreams where I have a lion under my kitchen table. We've all had strange dreams. Many people do. What would the dream books tell you? Oh, you're hiding your power or something. I don't buy it at all. That is a strange anomaly set to send a message to me, hey, that doesn't belong in your experience. Become more aware. I don't care whether it's the Cheshire cat or talking dogs, cats. I have them where I'm in a flying ice cream truck. Come on, it's obvious. It's an anomaly. It's a clear anomaly. Talking animals are clear anomalies sending a message to you going, hey, this doesn't belong. Become aware. So for the first thing to do is in your dreamscape is to try to become more aware of the things in the dream that obviously don't belong. It could be anything. It could literally be anything. Dogs that float, animals that float, talk, people floating, walking through walls, your ability, strange abilities that you know you don't have in the physical, but suddenly you do have. If you start to examine your dreams, you'll see that it happens all the time, but people aren't trained to, number one, embrace this concept that this is usable, but more importantly, they haven't been trained in the concept of bringing more awareness into that state of consciousness. Dreams and lucid dreams are just altered states of consciousness that we have the ability to enhance. And you do that by bringing awareness to it. When you see an anomaly, you immediately, first, one of the biggies are, am I dreaming? Question it. Wow, that doesn't belong here. I don't have a T-Rex in my home. I don't have a raptor in my backyard. If something's not right here, am I dreaming? Big question. Begin to condition yourself to ask. And this will help you to begin to activate that consciousness. So you become more and more aware of it. And then you can begin to work on enhancing that through awareness now. The first thing that I try to do, once I recognize the anomaly that does not exist in the dreamscape, I bring more I use awareness now. I have found that's my way. I have found it as an effective tool for enhancing the state. And then I can become more aware of the situation. And I and others have used this in many different ways. From the lucidity of the dream, you can go directly to an OBE without any transition to the body. I shared one where I made the transition. Some people experience that, but you can go directly to an OBE. Awareness now, awareness now, awareness now. Repeat it as a command and see what happens. And then embrace it. And then begin to explore, because you want the baseline for awareness, minimal baseline to shoot for, is what you experience right now in your physical life. This is like, in the big scheme of things, it's like being semi-aware, really. But at least you gotta have that baseline. You want to always upgrade to at least what you are now in the physical body, and always try to enhance it beyond that. So from now on, use this as a tool for exploration in your dreamscape. Remember awareness now. Remember to question the validity of the reality. Am I dreaming? One of the simple tools that have been taught for decades by many lucid dreaming teachers is just every hour of the day, you can begin to ask yourself a simple question. Am I dreaming? And that follows through. That's it's been around long before I didn't start it. That's a classic lucid dreaming technique to enhance lucidity or awareness, is to ask yourself every hour of the day, am I dreaming? Is this real? Am I dreaming? Am I dreaming? The thing is, if you do it consistently, some people set their alarm. They have Fitbits or whatever, and they set their alarm every hour, and they ask themselves that. And the idea being that you carry that over eventually in your dream life. You condition yourself to begin to ask that critical question while you are dreaming at night. Am I dreaming? Is this real? And that's the important question. It's just another exploration tool. And it's one that you can use. Some people like it because it's one way to avoid what many people are a little fearful sometimes of, the vibrational state. And I've talked to many people in this class that have found it helpful in their own way of bypassing the vibrational state. In other words, partial or full paralysis. It's just another tool in your tool belt to enhance consciousness and enhance our multidimensional states of consciousness. Because consciousness is a continuum. There's no boxes, they're not separated, they all run together. The core string connecting all states is just our awareness, our present awareness in the experience. So we always have to focus on enhancing our awareness. And I do this, and I teach awareness now as a repetition, as almost a mantra. In your different states, always try to enhance, always try to make yourself more aware of your environment, more aware of your own state, more aware of everything that's going on. That's the best way to address it. So from now on, consider this and use it as a tool every night, because you're going to experience these things. So try to get the most from every dream, from every lucid dream.